Few days, hasn't it? So much has been happening. Paimon didn't think the meetings would go on for so long, but everyone seemed pretty fired up, huh? Paimon thought they'd be at least a little frightened. Well, Fremine was, now that Paimon thinks about it, but everyone else just looked a little surprised. Well... It's hard to say. Paimon doesn't have any experience with this sort of thing. But with you around, Paimon sure will do great! After all, you're the most reliable person in the world, aren't you? Did you just pour some tea? Paimon didn't notice you doing that at all! Then what's that? Paimon's never seen that cup before!
Don't be frightened. I'm just joining you two for tea. I merely refrained from saying anything till now.
Who's that voice? But there's no one here!
What a strange conclusion, but also such an interesting one. You two make such a fascinating combo, and yet even you feel confused. As such, I couldn't resist but come by for some tea and a chat. Consider me a passerby, just accepting a commission from my friend's disciple on a whim. Precisely. Call me N, a mage who wanders the world. At least, that's how my friends have suggested that I introduce myself. The prophecy. Yes, what has been prophesized will be fulfilled. You may view such things as the history of the future.
What?
People call such things fate, and it is written in the stars. It cannot so easily be altered. So you've caught on. Just as prophecies are usually only the future as seen from the perspectives of the gods, could things be happening in hidden corners where the gods' gaze does not fall? Are the things that you shall see different from the fate that the gods perceive?
What is she talking about? It all sounds really impressive and important and stuff, but it also sounds kinda scary.
I believe that you understand, right? Some things are insignificant, but others you must reach out to change. Ultimately, fate shall serve as your only guide, no matter what will happen in Tevat's future. All you need to do is to play your part. This was good tea, by the way. Thank you for your hospitality. Well, that'll be all for today.
The voice. It's gone. What? I want to hear someone talking. All right, Hey, it's you who's getting lazy, okay?
Well, I see I've walked in on some lively banter.
Luna!
Fine, just fine. I went to take part in that Steambird panel. It turned out to be more interesting than I expect. Not all Fontanians are pessimistic about this. One journalist mentioned that sitting around and waiting for the end to come would be wrong, and that they should make their own rescue preparations.
Did she have...
Why, yes, it was Charlotte. I assume you've heard of her, no? That I'm in full support of her view. Prophecies are very important, but How can people allow their lives to be commandeered by just a few words?
That's right! Paimon's glad to hear something sensible for once.
Ah, yes. About what we had discussed before. I did try, but I'm afraid I couldn't reach the old hag. Huh? Goodness gracious. Are you serious?
She said that even the god's gaze has blind spots. Pretty bold if you ask Paimon.
The Hexen Circle members are certainly anything but ordinary. As for the mage named N, the old hag, but I've never met her, and if she were still alive, she'd be...
Whoa. The Hexen Circle sounds like a scary group.
Their abilities alone are pretty terrifying. If she came to see you personally, then...
Well, it's not like Paimon could understand anything she said.
Yes, she was quite cryptic, but I suspect she means that there is still a way to turn things around. She didn't say when, or perhaps it is something that you cannot know right now. Traveler, Paimon?
Oh, we're fine. We're just...
I see. I feel that I guess you could consider me someone who has often witnessed fate. So far as I have seen, it can't, but even so, I still hope for, and perhaps that's what N was trying to tell you. Not to lose heart, and to believe that what I did originally think of steering clear of all this, but I couldn't. Even if this is all futile, I still wish to help everyone.
Huh. You do have a point.
There I go, talking about astrological principles again. It was worth trying to comfort you, even if only a little. I suppose that might be why we always seem to meet by coincidence.
Paimon feels kind of moved by what Mona said. Hey, Traveler. Paimon suddenly feels like going... Let's walk around the city, shall we? There's a few spots we always like to walk by. Huh? Our names are written in this newspaper. Let Paimon see! The underwater stronghold, the Fortress of Meripede, has continued in its noble autonomy, but that does not mean that others cannot interact with it. My recent attempts to enter the fortress bore little fruit. Huh. Thus, did an Outlander friend become the focus of this report, a blonde adventurer with their white fairy legends trailing in their wake. It is said that this mysterious traveler once visited the underwater fortress. So while the fortress's interior remains a mystery behind closed doors, do not fear, for the tales of the traveler contain surprises in spades. Journalist Charlotte's biggest scoop yet, the traveler's trip. Huh. Charlotte took so many awesome photos of us, she hasn't been able to get a hold of anything at the fortress, so since we're... seriously? Well, fine. Those Paimon's hungry. Should we go in and get something to eat? Hey, quick! Look! That's the limited edition only 16 slices a day cake! expedite the tense situation.
One slice of cake, please.
Someone showed up after all! Oh, wait, you're the one from the Palais Mermonia.
Oh, are you here to buy cake too? It seems Monsieur Nervalet was right. You really can eat.
Wait, did he really say something?
That's right. Even he has his own preferences.
Do you come here often?
Usually every day.
Every day?
It's part of my daily schedule, apart from work. I shall have my cake and coffee.
Then what if someone told you one day that this place...
But why would it close?
Well, Paimon doesn't know...
Oh, the prophecy. No. It's the same for eating in general.
Huh.
Don't be sad. Excuse me, could I have 2 more slices of cake to go? These 2 slices are for you. Sijuin said that this kind of expression you're making is what humans call being sad.
Oh, you know Sijuin?
I sure do. She was born before me, and she sometimes comes to the surface to teach us things about humans. She said that humans are creatures that are saddened easily. Yes, and you can only lift their spirits by feeding. I've got something else to do, so I'll be going now. You two try.
And there she goes. All right, let's dig in. Paimon's sure this cake... It's more delicious than last time! And the flavor gets even better with a sip of tea. Sure would be nice if we could always eat delicious food here. Oh! We're near the Steambird office! Let's go look for Charlotte and have a chat.
Wow! If it isn't the Traveler and Paimon! Oh, have you seen the article I wrote about you?
Ha! You've got some nerve! You just used...
Oh, you needn't worry about that. I heard that you were in Poisson some time back, so I sent you a letter to discuss just that. It appears you didn't receive it, though. It's all right, though. I've set aside the amount intended for you. I've even set the table with some food.
Really? Oh, you're the best!
You're almost a little too easy to win over, Paimon. If I were a journalist with ulterior motives, you'd be in trouble now, you know.
Oh, Paimon knows you're not like that.
Still, what brings you here all of a sudden? Were you looking for me?
A friend of ours met you a while back, and when she mentioned it, we thought of coming to see you. Her name's Mona.
Ah, so you know Miss Mona as well. She's a guest columnist for our paper. Really good one, too. She's so young and already such a brilliant astrologist. So she mentioned me? What did she say?
She said that you're a real daredevil of a journalist.
Nice. In which case, can this daredevil journalist...
Huh? So your article in the paper today doesn't count?
Oh, of course it doesn't. That was more like...
Yeah, are we even?
Why not? If I say you're worth an interview, then...
Oh, in that case...
Oh, so that's a yes? Ooh, splendid! I'll tell the editor. Ooh, so much to get done.
Wait, Charlotte, Paimon's still got a question for you.
And what's that?
If... just for...
Huh. That's the prophecy you're talking about, isn't it? If you're seriously asking, then I might try and think of a way to leave Fontaine. Oh, but I'm still a journalist. From what I've seen, most people don't know what they'd do should the worst come to pass. So in all likelihood, I'd probably still be prepping at the office for that interview of ours. I know, just think about it. If this nation really were... And then do you know what I'd do? Well, I'd write that story. I'm not a dreamer, nor am I a workaholic. But anyway, that's my answer.
That's so nice. Anyway, let's go and take a look at the sea, shall we? The sea breeze and scenery can be a pretty soothing combo, huh? Paimon's been thinking. If it wasn't Fontaine, but all of Tevat that would be destroyed tomorrow, where would we go and what would we do? No, Paimon should ask, if you could choose, what would you like to do? We've always been moving to the next destination, so we haven't spent much time thinking about these kinds of things. We didn't have to either, with us always being on the road and whatnot. You mean, still traveling? Huh. Wait. Feels like he'll grow, but it's still better than the Fortress of Mirapede, that's for sure.
Ah, so the two of you are still here. Wonderful.
Oh, you're from the Palais Mermonia.
Yes, I'm Isadora. Monsieur Nervillat sent me to look for you two before. Not at all. I'm well aware that you're... Yes, inside the Opera House. The Maréchaussée Phantom has declared...
A riot?
Well, that said, I don't personally think it was that serious. Lady Furina was watching a performance at the Opera House, and while she was resting during an intermission, some other audience members suddenly started harassing, loudly accusing her of doing nothing about the prophecy crisis. And before she could respond, others started to join in. The crowd continued to grow, and protests against the Hydro Archon started to break out.
So people have started to put the blame on Furina. Guess they finally found an outlet for the pressure they've been under.
I agree. People will naturally rely on gods, as is customary. But the moment people...
So what happened after that? Is Furina okay?
Seeing that the situation was spiraling out of control and that further argument was the Maréchaussée Phantom had their hands full maintaining order and did not catch where Lady Furina had gone. Only when things had stabilized did we
So, you mean she's still missing?
That's right. The Maréchaussée has dispatched many people to search for her. That said, I don't think there's much to worry about. Good. Monsieur Nervillat...
Don't worry, this is more than enough to go...
Is that so? Well...
Well, sounds like we should hurry over to Poisson then. If we know Furina, she won't try to fix things in this. And, as we also know, she may be when Nervillat was talking to her in the Palais Mermonia, and it would be hard for her to ignore. Paimon thinks Furina's probably taken the opportunity to slip away to Poisson and try to relieve... Well, what do you think? Paimon knows the answer, of course, but in that case, there's not a moment to lose. Poisson, here we come! This place looks deserted. Guess all the survivors must have evacuated already. All that's left here are signs of devastation. Could Furina really be here? Let's try to find her as soon as possible. That's Furina, right over there.
Should I just give up? This is all meaningless. What was meant to happen did happen after all. Everyone's dead. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Give up, Furina. There's no point in holding out. I'm sorry, but what can I even do other than to repeat meaningless apologies over and over? Who's that?
Don't worry, Furina, it's just us. Furina, you were crying just...
What do you mean, tear stains? Who did that uncivilized They even dare to tout their Archon? Oh, and I'm sure Nouvellette and those people from...
Hey, there she is! The Hydro Archon's over there! Quick, after her!
Furina, those people seem to be after you.
They are? They're just some... That's against the rules.
Furina just ran off! Quick, we have to catch up with her! This should be the place, right? Hey, Furina! There's a good hiding spot over here! Quick, come to Paimon before...
What?
Hurry, they're almost here!
Fine, I suppose... I merely gave in to the sheer You're right.
Yep, that's a good girl.
What's happening? The ground...
Yeah, a quake of this kind preceded the flooding in Poisson, didn't it?
It can't be. It's happening again.
Well, there's no need to worry too much about that. Nouvellette's made some emergency plans, so the evacuation should...
Yeah, but the people of Poisson... It's true. I've been investigating the prophecy for hundreds of years. I once had informants all over Tevat, searching for clues and feeding information back to me. I've tried all kinds of ways, too, to hold back the sea. Anything to keep the coastline from advancing, but all my efforts proved to be futile in the end. Really, the truth has been clear to me for a very long time. We cannot make an enemy of the divine. No matter what we do, the will of the heavenly principles will have its way, and the prophecy shall be fulfilled. Give up. I do love the sound of that phrase. It would mean finally coming to terms with fate, but also for me to finally be free. Indeed, I've thought about giving up so many times, especially after we almost lost Poisson. Fate is really unreasonable, isn't it? It has no heart and obeys no rules. The prophecy has only just started to come true, and so many people have already lost their lives. But just now,
it all became clear to me. I still don't have the right to come to terms with fate on behalf of everyone else. As long as the final moment hasn't come, it's still not too late. Don't worry. Well, that's enough for now. I got the impulse to play the strict. Don't take any of what I just said seriously.
Come on! Paimon could have sworn you were...
Share my burden. That's impossible. It was fated right from the start that this would be my duty alone. A witness. Yeah, and if Tevat is, in its entirety, a show on a... If that's the case...
Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes my opening performance. Now, without further ado, we may proceed to the trial of our god.